The girl came to her best friend's house as a guest, but was noticed by their lecherous father. As the clothes were swallowed one by one, an ambiguous atmosphere spread throughout the room. This middle-aged man named Lester, who has achieved nothing, has recently encountered various troubles and is at risk of being fired at work. His marital relationship with his wife is also in jeopardy. Caroline is exactly the opposite of him, with a strong father-daughter demeanor. Just after joining a company, she sat in the position of sales manager and couldn't help but look down on her husband. In addition, daughter Jenny is currently in adolescence, with a serious rebellious mentality and a strained relationship with her father. Today is her 18th birthday, which was supposed to be a happy day. However, due to work reasons, Kleist kept a straight face throughout the whole process, which eventually angered Jenny and caused her to leave the party. To show their concern, the couple decided to go to school to watch their daughter's cheerleading performance. Kleist, who was originally here to cheer Jenny on, completely forgot all about the girl in the center of the team and stared fixedly at her. After it was over, he found out that the girl's name was Alice and she was his daughter's good friend. Lester enthusiastically walked up to greet her, little realizing that all of this was a blatant act of flower obsession in Jenny's eyes. She wished to find a crack in the ground to get in, but lovely Alice was the opposite. Her vanity was greatly satisfied, and many boys usually expressed their feelings to her. This also encourages girls to develop an extreme narcissistic mentality. After returning home, Alice's appearance lingered in her mind, hoping that her daughter could bring her best friend home as a guest. However, within a few days, her wish came true. That night, Jenny invited Alice to come home and watch a movie. He knew that his father had ulterior motives, so he kept staring at his best friend at all times. However, he couldn't resist it. Alice still secretly ran over to greet Lester and even took the initiative to tease the man, showcasing her unique charm. As soon as he reached middle age, Lester instantly became an 18-year-old boy, his eyes filled with shyness and nervousness. Good morning. The arrival of his wife and daughter broke this awkward scene, but he was unwilling to sneak to his daughter's door in the middle of the night to eavesdrop on their conversation. Finally, upon learning that Alice liked muscular men, Lester excitedly danced and arrived at the warehouse, picking up the dusty dumbbells, determined to train himself to look like Alice liked. The woman in her sleep felt a jolt, and when she turned her head, she found her husband in bed enjoying himself. She felt that her personality had been insulted, and her face was full of contempt and condemnation of her husband's behavior. Since being married for 15 years, their marital relationship has long been in name only. Coupled with the lack of understanding from their wives and daughters, Lester has become extremely depressed and can only seek comfort in this way. Until one day, the appearance of her daughter's best friend reignited her hope for life. In order to look younger, Lester insists on morning running to exercise his body. Little did they know that all of this was recorded by the little boy next door. Ken G was born into a military family but has a unique medical talent. He likes to capture interesting things and record them. My colleagues have also been secretly in love with Lester's daughter. On this day, the two of them were walking home together. Kenshi invited Jenny to his home as a guest and even took out his father's collection to show the girl. The atmosphere quickly became ambiguous as a solitary man and a widow lived together in a room. As their bodies got closer and closer, they finally opened their hearts to each other. Jenny was particularly happy today, so she chatted with her parents at the dinner table for a few more words. However, Caroline kept complaining that her husband was not capable, which led to the burden of the family being solely on him. Lester didn't dare to show weakness either, as his anger, which had been burning for many years, erupted in an instant. He picked up a plate and smashed it against the wall, frightening the mother and daughter with a single action. The next day, Jenny went out on a date with Kenshi, and they complained about each other's troubles. Jenny said that her father is an old pervert who actually takes a liking to her best friend, and Kanzi also hates his father's militarized management. He must abide by the rules and regulations in everything he does at home, and even if he doesn't agree, he starts to be served by warlords. After resigning from the advertising company, Lester found a job at a fast food restaurant and lived a carefree life every day. But on that day at work, I saw my wife intimately with a stranger in the car. The young couple took advantage of their strong drunkenness to relive their relationship with G, but their wife inexplicably expressed that it would dirty the sofa.
So what? It's just a couch.
This is a $4,000 sofa, upholstered in Italian silk. This is not just a couch.
Just a couch. When the aspect between the couple becomes less harmonious, it indicates that one party in the marriage has cheated. As expected, not long after, Lester, who worked in a fast food restaurant, witnessed all of this. However, he did not go crazy or get angry, but instead served the dog man and woman with a calm face. Due to his wife's unilateral infidelity, Lester took the dominant position in this marriage. He no longer had to endure Caroline's healing aura, and even if he did get divorced, he could sue the court and share more of his property. So overall, the wife's infidelity is actually good news for Lester. After returning home, he worked hard to exercise and prepared to smoke a cigarette. However, he found that the tobacco Kanki had given him was gone. So he sent a message to the boy asking him to bring some more over. This undoubtedly aroused the father's suspicion. After his son left, he quietly came to the window, only to see a shameful scene. He mistakenly thought his son was gay, but little did he know that it was just a matter of perspective. In fact, nothing happened between the two of them. Kenzie bent down to give a speech to Lester. So when he returned home and was inexplicably beaten up by his father, a long-suppressed anger erupted during the break in his heart. Seeing his decision to run away from home and intentionally take Jenny with him, and he had already had enough of this deformed family, he agreed without even thinking about it, which also led to a complete quarrel between Jenny and her best friend. Under heartbreak, Alice approached Lester for comfort, and the man took this opportunity to express his intention to the girl. The two of them naturally arrived at the bedroom, but when they stepped on the door, Alice revealed her virginity. It turns out that beneath her naturally promiscuous appearance, there is always a pure and ignorant inner self hidden. Lester immediately stopped his movements and finally understood that this girl was just a spiritual pillar pulling him out of his inferiority complex, and the ultimate meaning of life was to return to his family. She came to the living room, took out a family photo, and looked at the smiling faces of her wife and daughter. Finally, she understood the true meaning of happiness. However, the good life had not yet begun when a pistol hit the back of his head and without any hesitation, he pulled the trigger. The killer is the father of the boy next door. Due to his homosexual identity, he is extremely sensitive to such things. Therefore, just a misplaced visual image makes the father believe that his child is homosexual, leading to such a crazy move. He not only ruined his own life, but also caused another family to avoid missing out on more exciting movies, please click subscribe.